possibly the most luxurious haul I've ever recorded, ever.
I'm like barricaded myself with bottles at this point. We gotta start planning. We gotta figure something out here in terms of our content strategy. I can use any help I can get. So please comment, like, and subscribe. But first of all, comment on what we should focus here. I'm just gonna show you a parade of bottles and perfume sets that I acquired ever since the last time I spoke. It's a lot. It's a lot. I've been on a really long search ever since last November, I would say, for new, exciting, and iconic leathery fragrances. I have a few. I tend to slide toward more suede-like fragrances rather than pure leather. That said, I decided to try a few. Here's what I acquired in my endless search for the ideal mono leather, if not mono, but at least leather-centric type of perfume. First, Boutique line by Elisa, very heavy, good quality stuff. And this is their essentially cuir absolu, so leather absolute. You get that, I mean, you get the pay for your buck, yeah? They are not cheap, however, they're exquisitely packaged. So the rose gold bottle that we observe here is dedicated to the absolute, how do they, I think they have like a card where they talk about this. Yes, the tribute to the beauty of the leather that sculpts haute couture creations. La Collection de Cuirs reveals a set of exceptional fragrances. Cuir Absolu. The most supreme leather accord, blah, 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 reinforces the alchemy of the leather notes. So they also suggest that Cuir Absolu can be worn by itself if you're into this like purity of a leathery accord, or can be layered with other fragrances. I mean, let's be honest, any fragrance can be layered with any other fragrance. It's only the matter of if you like the result. To me, this is so musky. This is the kind of patent, kind of polished leather. It's more toward Cabochard by Gray. These ain't fluffy, this ain't cute. This is very animalistic, as I mentioned, kind of like Civetta. All of those, you know where they come from. From the butts of different animals, kind of ingredients that give you this stringent, potent, grabby, animalic facets. This kind of patent glossy leather, it's almost like BDSM in a sense. It has a piercing, grabby quality, and I have no idea how to make it work. That's just, I bought it and that wasn't cheap. But even though it's called Cuir Absolu, I feel they're a little more believable and a little more centered leather accords out there. That said, I'm not an expert. I'm still exploring the world of leathery fragrances, so maybe this is an acquired taste. I don't know, but I made a huge bet in investment in this one, and it's not working out. Here's another one. I mean, if you're talking about leather fragrances, how can you escape talking about Memo? Obviously you can't. I got myself a hairspray of Irish leather by Memo, with hopes that the hairspray will be a little bit more bearable and less abrasive. I find that, again, as soon as you start talking about pure leather scents, things get powerful real soon. So Irish leather, as many people say, comes the closest to a mono leather accord. Still, to me, is a very wet, mossy, patchouli, kind of dumpy, has dumpy feel to it. that just doesn't quite bring me there to true leather scent. It was pricey for hairspray. It was not as pricey as full size of Irish leather by Memo would be. So I'm kind of happy I had a chance to try it. It's nearly full, but I already can tell that if Cuir Absolu by Elisa is just a big no, I can't master it. If you like classic, old school, like I'm talking before 70s, old school French perfumery, that may be. It's very dirty, very animalic. But I'm more of a millennial type of girl. It's hard for me to even get through this. Though I do have some fairly heavy perfumes in my collection, but man, this is something else. What comes the Irish leather, I can wear it. It's just like I'm not in love. So I might try to find like a swap for it or find a better home for it. If I don't, I'll use it up at some point, but still not that. Another one, which was a blind buy, just like Elisa, was my first bottle by this brand which I was dying to try. Liquor Maginay. It's a French brand, very hard to pronounce, and at first I thought it was a Latin name, but apparently it's French. They have a fragrance that is revered online as like, oh, this is my best leather scent. This is like absolutely the best of both worlds. It's like iconic. It's so well balanced, and it's just not too much this, not too much that. Bouver du Vent. First of all, I'll try to showcase how exquisitely they're packaged. I would say the packaging here is a little bit higher quality, a little bit more stylish than Elisa couture line or boutique line. You get the explanations in different languages about the brand, and you get the card that sort of talks to you about the inspiration behind the scent. Then, sure enough, there is also a pouch. You pay a lot of money for these bottles, so they do try to make you feel like you know what you paid for. And then there are those bottles. They have a kind of unique, almost medieval styling on them, and the name of the scent is written in gold. Very stylish. It's very high quality bottle make, and so is the lid. So everything here is top notch. I'm really happy about the quality of the bottle. It makes a really great gift. That said, whether you like love or not this aesthetic, it's kind of like, again, I'm trying to understand, is it throwback to medieval times, like witchcraft, or is it even more ancient? Because it kind of looks like a column to me. Like, is it Greek? At first I thought it was devoted to Latin, but I think potentially it's more about early, like dark ages or medieval times. Anyway, I think I get why so many people love this as a middle-of-the-road niche leather scent, because it contains so many finely milled spices, but not those sweet gourmand spices like cinnamon, nutmeg, and you name it, but more like cardamom, pepper, cumin, possibly. Almost ever so slightly smoky presence here, but I don't feel a lot of smoke. It doesn't give me this burnt feel. So what do they say it's inspired by? The legend of Bouver du Vin, born from the saddle leather of a wild... Oh, I forget how imaginative the Liquor Maginay descriptions are. Those English degrees, I mean, they all need a job, don't they? Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's do this.
The legend of Bouver du Vin, born from the saddle leather of a wild creature, trailing its powerful fragrance as it passes stallion of light, with fabulous strength, created by a god from long ago, whose power gives glory to his faithful, exalted adornment like no other. Raise your hand if you have a fucking clue what they're trying to say.
I'm not raising my hand. Whatever that was. Okay. I mean, people with bachelor degrees in English also need a job, all right? Okay? So I guess that's that. I would say this is very spicy, comfortable, kind of this like leather wallet type of scent. It's neither rough and resinous like a lot of Russian leather accords would suggest, but it's also not very animalic, stringent, and piercing as a lot of these kind of kabashar style. I forget the chemical name for that component. Isobutyl, I don't remember. Anyway, who cares? I don't think anybody here is with a chemistry lesson. So it's neither there nor there. It's not too suede, because suede accord has a little bit more of this powdery, soft, sweet facet to it. It's mostly ever so slight smoky leather with rich spices. Balanced, dry, not too austere, not too black peppery, neither not too gourmand like cinnamon. So it's very indeed middle of the road, but it has so many facets to it. It's like a glowing little ball. Like you rotate and you always like see a little, it's like quartz crystal, you know, like depending how the light hits it, you see a sparkle or a little glint here and there. So it's very glinting type of fragrance. That said, still I wouldn't call it like leather. To me, it's more a very traditional, cultured, esteemed leathery spices. Spices first, leather second. But this is one of those that is, it smells expensive, if you wish. Like, I would give it that tag if I had to. If I was put against the wall with a gun against my head and somebody told me, name 5 or 10 expensive smelling fragrances, hate that word, but if I had to, it would be one. Buveur du Vent by Liquor Maginay. Hard to find in the States, though some big online discount stores have them now. I think I got mine either at Fragrance Bita Canada or Fragrance Net. I think that was it. All right. With the leather story, I'm still kind of exploring my options, but once I opened the box, kind of the black hole of Liquor Maginay fragrances, I couldn't stop. I think I possibly have showed this before, but it's been a while since we talked, so I'm going to show them again, just in case you forgot I have these. And I'm going to finally show them and put them in my library. So we have 2 more. I'm kind of on a kick exploring the brand. We have Tapis Volant, or Volant. Not an expert in French, my apologies. I wonder if I should make it like a good tradition just to read these marketing messages, because they truly are something. Tapis Volant, so let's first just try what it smells like. Also, golden lid. I think probably the same collection, I imagine. This one was gifted to me by a subscriber, which I'm infinitely grateful for. Sensual, musky, with something. Tapis Volant has something that I can't, without looking at the pyramid, clearly detect. Interesting, it's an iris-centric perfume. I was thinking about something rather lemony. Let me double check. 2019. Tapis Volant by Liquor Maginay. La Liquor Maginay. It's fairly recent. What do we have here? We have here, it's powdery with iris and violet, often come together, true. Jasmine, sandalwood, spices, bergamot, tonka bean. I think this is a combination of iris and bergamot that just strikes me a little odd. It's both sensual, kind of like skin musk sensual, and fresh at the same time. It's kind of fun. And you know what? It might be something that can withstand hot and humid Florida summer. Because of this elegance of iris and kind of freshness, cooling freshness of bergamot. But are you ready though? Are you ready though to hear somebody's master thesis? Okay.
Born from a weightless dream of a legendary flight, enchanted vehicle of a solar journey, aerial magic with breathtaking maneuvers, sensational fragrances that make you dizzy, golden oriental carpet caressed by the sky, in never-ending waves, silken and sensual. Do you think they'll make me an ambassador? I think they should.
Whatever that was. Okay. I'm sure at some point their marketing team will learn how to compose sentences with verbs and grammatical structure present, but that was a beautiful concoction of a college level dictionary. Okay, I kind of like Tapis Falan. Thank you so much for sharing it. That said, I also can see why my subscriber didn't mind parting with it, because again, for the price range of these fragrances, this is a kind of a more grown-up version of many other bergamoty, refreshing, woody perfumes. And the third one that to date is probably my favorite, my second favorite of all Liquor Maginay perfumes that I tried, Bloody Wood. I feel like I showed this one once before, but I haven't really unpacked them. For some reason, I kept waiting for something to happen to me to really unload them into my olfactory shelves of my library. And I think the time has come. I've been dibbing, coming back and back, unpackaging and packaging, and packaging and packaging. You see, like I kind of used up some. There is a number of fine perfumes from niche houses that have red wine as their core component. Very hard to grasp and make believable without making it just stringent and sour. And I would say that Bloody Wood does a bloody good job with that. Yes, I just said that. I will never have a position on the marketing team, will I? Anyway, Bloody Wood, to me, is the most idyllic sour cherry, like tart cherry scent. I've had a whole video about the cherry scents, and I had a few examples. Some people loved that video, some people were just showering with hate to that, you know, like, why don't you cut your tongue and shut up, you don't know anything about anything. Mostly people who probably shelled over $300 for Lost Cherry by Tom Ford and realizing how much of a cliche they are. Not a big fan of Lost Cherry by Tom Ford. I kind of prefer more leathery and scotch-filled version by Room 1015, which is called Cherry Punk. Harder to find, but like it's more fun, it's more youthful, it's a little bit more interesting. That said, none of those really smell like cherry to me. Maybe like cherry preserves or like sweet cherry that you buy in the grocery stores, but not like the cherry that I had when I was a kid, the tart cherry. This comes very close, very, very close. It's very believable tart cherry perfume to me. I'm fine with it being devoted to wine, and it does fulfill that purpose. I just don't care about wine perfumes as much. And for me, it's even more delightful that it reminds me of a smell of my childhood. So, Bloody Wood, absolute favorite so far, only to be potentially rivaled by Dom Rosa, that I think is one of the best sellers that the house has, if I'm not mistaken, at least in certain territories, in certain markets. And Dom Rosa is probably even easier to wear. That one I think is pretty much rosé in a perfume bottle. It's just so delightful. This is a little bit more exquisite, a little edgier, woody, tart, with these sweet sour notes, just so delightful. If you love tart cherries as much as I do, Bloody Wood, oh my god, this is one of the best ones on the market, if not the best. Same, if you're a connoisseur of red wine, on the days when you feel like you had enough and you gotta slow down, you just put this on and you feel probably just as good, if not better. So yeah, Bloody Wood is so far my favorite, but I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of pining after Dom Rosa. I don't have that in my collection yet. Talking of red wine, very luxurious gift from my subscriber, thank you so much, is Nasomatto Baronda. Anyone who knows anything about Alessandro Gualtieri knows that Nasomatto is probably one of the best known for kind of shock factor that they promote in their perfumery and kind of this like raw artistic mixology energy. That said, there are some fragrances in the Nasomatto line that are more refined and some that are more raw. I would say that everything considered, Baronda is not only one of the best-selling fragrances by Nasomatto, but it's also one of the most well put together and refined. It's never gonna really compare with impeccable crafts that some of the more floral-centric perfume brands do, like Atelier Bleuem, or exquisite crafting of spices that Liquor Maginay does. But considering other fragrances by the same perfumer, Baronda is very cohesive. It's very solid in the way that it travels through your nose and through the space, and it has this undeniable, powerful force that it kind of drags you with. Long story short, it's kind of semi-sweet wine. It's devoted to whiskey, as far as I know. Let's double check. Yep, whiskey. But more than that, I feel I have perfumes that are more into bourbon and whiskey territory than this. This to me is actually more like Lambrusco, or like those semi-sweet wines, like super rich, super dense, potentially with blackberries and like another fruity notes. It's deliciously rosy, sweet, musky. At the same time, it has this piercing, sour kind of red wine note that again reminds me more of red wine than whiskey. That said, punchy, powerful, brave, flamboyant. Do not bake or bathe in these perfumes. These are perfume quality, extrait de perfume, so this is an extract. 2 sprays will do it for the rest of the day. Otherwise, you'll kill your nose and your receptors and everyone around you who is in the same room. These babies have to be used sparingly. I mean it, sparingly. I'm so happy that I have it now. I will probably most likely wear it either in the... No, I know. I'm gonna wear it outside on cold days because I feel that's what will do it the most justice. It has so much movement, and yet it's so powerful that I feel that's one of those rare fragrances that can survive super windy, cold weather. Like would be ideal. If you live in Chicago, you gotta get that. If you absolutely lavish sets that I got from my subscribers, again, thank you so much everyone who sends me little samples, things for blind tasting and all that good stuff. My address, my blogger address is down below if you want to send me a care package or share your love for perfumes, or even like, I don't know, a card and tell me about your day. I'm always super grateful for that. I got a whole set of Ex Nihilo fragrances, which I dabbed in and out from, and I would say Lost in Paradise. I mean, obviously Fleur Narcotique, that's what brought Ex Nihilo to a big game. I still prefer Lost in Paradise to Fleur Narcotique if you want this like musky, sour, lychee rose potent scent. These are slightly different. These are slightly less known. This is why I'm very excited to try them. This is Venom Kiss, which was very, very highly rated by a few people who smelled it off of my skin. This is Sweet Morphine, which is kind of a soapy, sweet lilac scent. Beautiful. Love Shot. They all have this watercolor quality that I did not expect from Ex Nihilo. Again, knowing Fleur Narcotique and Lost in Paradise, I'm kind of surprised how soft and almost diluted they seem. Devil Tender. Kind of like irisy violet eau de toilette kind of thing. And here we go, Fleur Narcotique. Okay, this one you can't mistake with anything else. Excited to give them a go. So far, for the price of Ex Nihilo, I must say, I'm not, as I said, I'm not the biggest fan of Fleur Narcotique, but I know that they have a few flankers that are way more flirty and wearable if sour musks, especially tuberose heavy sour musks, are hard for you. I think they have a rose version, they have some other like tropical version of Fleur Narcotique. That might be like vacation gold for 2022. That said, so far everything else by them is well-mannered, easy to wear, very agreeable, non-cliche, but kind of not worth the price, I would say. But I need to give it a go. I need to live with them more. Maybe they'll grow on me. Another super generous gift, thank you for my subscriber, for a Penhaligons. This is a scent library from their portrait collection. I did have a few samples, and they were all amazing. I love them all, so I have very high hopes. Very high hopes. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 of them. I know that the whole collection contains now over 15. Am I right? Am I wrong? So it's a very successful launch by Penhaligons. It's kind of what allowed them to slightly revive their brand. The packaging is just exquisite. Those animal heads, oh, they make it like mouth-watering, like bottle fetish. And this is what a good packaging should do. A good perfume packaging should create more than just a vessel to pour in the liquid, which is totally understandable, right? Perfume is about the scent. But really, perfume is more than just a scent, especially like premium $200 plus kind of a bottle perfume. So everything is important then. And the job that they did with packaging, the graphics design, the concepts, it's all there. So excited to give it a go and maybe pick a few favorites for my wish list. Again, thank you so much for my subscribers. I got 2 sets by Wilhelm Perfumery, New York. I already tried 2 of the perfumes by this brand. I love their bottles, they're fun. They have their own unique style, which is rare, and it's hard to get it right when you're a new niche brand. They have high quality of the make, to what I can tell so far. I have Darling Nikki as a decant. I finished Morning Chess. I am kind of halfway to be in love with, let me see, this is Opus Core, Dear Polly, Mango Skin. I'm looking for an unusual fruity shipper. Classic shipper, if it's fruity, it has apricot peachy component to it, right? But think about plum shipper, like Japanese plum wine. Think about mango shipper. And there are a few, actually, I think at least 3 niche perfume brands who have mango-based shippers, and I'm trying to find the best because, like, I'm captivated by that idea. I kind of want a mango shipper, like, real bad. So, if you know any good candidates, please let me know. So, very excited to try this stuff. Please leave a comment below what's worth the video. Because otherwise, as you know, it's a slow burn. I have so many bottles that making a dedicated brand review is gonna take a lot of audience support. Tell me what you want to hear about. Tell me what you're lusting after. All right, now to the most delightful PR package of all times. I got it back in the winter, and I kept waiting to show it to you. Waiting for, first of all, for a better mental state in which I could record a video. You probably noticed it's been a minute. And frankly, I was in hopeful denial. I was hoping to present you this brand at a better point in global history. This is an amazing, I'm talking from the point of all the niche in design houses that I've tried in the last 10 years. This is an amazing, mouth-watering, creative, edgy, niche perfumer from Ukraine. And the brand is called Squa. It's an abbreviated last name of the perfumer, Anna Sokolova. And back in winter, we arranged a kind of gift and PR exchange with Anna Sokolova and her brand, and a blogger who collaborated to create this fragrance. We'll talk about it in a minute. Natasha Zlatarova, who is a professor of music, at least before what happened. She had a professorship position back in Ukraine. And also a big lover of fragrances. So, I got 2 sets to try different Sokolova scents. And as far as I know, as of recently, they managed to reopen again for certain online purchases. I don't know if they can ship everywhere, but they can ship to certain places. So please, I'll link it below. Go to their Instagram, go to their website. And if you like, I'll probably give them a really good test run and make a separate video just out of the warmth of my heart. And I want to support a truly creative, high quality niche brand that's surviving despite just unimaginable circumstances. But one that I absolutely have to tell you about now is Urban Petunia. This is the collaboration between Natasha Zlatarova and Sokolova as a brand, and it is 10 ml. It's a limited edition collaboration. That's what they look like. It's very kind of Scandinavian, I would say, in design type of packaging. And oh my God, if you ever smell petunias, you will never ever believe just how gorgeously they are wrapped here in some of these luxurious gourmand notes. Oh, this is so good. It is both naturalistic, that you detect petunia there. It's also very contemporary. You can tell it's a modern, contemporary olfactory design. And yet it has this backing, I don't know what that is, but with these mouth-watering, sweet florals, kind of floral sweetness that just creates this such a soft landing for for more kind of fresher, greener floral notes that kind of compose the petunia accord here. It is both natural, like it's incredible how it can be all in one olfactory design, to being nature inspired and naturalistic, which we kind of tend to think of like more eau de toilette. I just want to show you that they are really well packaged. It makes a great gift. When it comes to the fragrance though, so the bottle looks what I expected it to look. Unfortunately, the scent is not the same. This is way more modern, this is cleaner, this is more of that kind of expected now classic aftershave. It's a very well balanced and respectable eau de cologne. That said, it doesn't grab me. It's not as rich and deep as the original eau de parfum. And I think I will try to rehome it soon. Maybe if any of you wants to swap, because it was not cheap and at this point reselling it feels bad. I don't know. If anybody wants to swap it for something else, let me know. I'll just keep it in this pristine shape and hope that either I'll find an opportunity to gift it to someone who really wants that kind of classic, elegant, masculine scent, or potentially swap it with someone. And that's not it. And that's not it. I only show you half of what I meant. So it's gonna be more. It's gonna be more perfume reviews and hauls coming very soon. I hope that's exciting for you. Let me know what you snatched recently. Maybe if you've been going through like a decluttering of your perfume collection. Let me know what stayed the test of time and what didn't. With that, let me know if you want to learn more about any of these brands or olfactory families or any particular perfumes, because again, I showed you like a battery of sets. We talked about, it made a few comparisons between brands, but like I can see this conversation branching out, okay? We'll be waiting for your feedback. If you don't tell me what to talk about, but you want me to talk about this or that, if I don't know about it, it might be a while, because there's a lot here. And my hair is even more messy than before. Anyway, we'll be waiting for your comments. Till then, love, kisses, take care of yourself. I'll see you in the next video.